Okay, so now we're going to look at finding zeros. Zeros and x-intercepts are similar. No, zeros and x-intercepts are the same. What I wanted to say was zeros and intersections are found similarly on the calculator. Okay. So I go into y equals, I'm going to put in x to the fifth minus 6x cubed plus 2x squared plus 5x minus 1. Okay. Remember that if you're on the calculators in class that you have to hit over after you write your 5 and your 3. And then your 2 if you use the caret button. Your caret button is this little, I don't know, hat looking thing, upside down V. That's your caret button. Okay, so if I hit graph, I guess we should do this. Mine was already graphed, so you didn't get to watch it graph. So we'll watch it graph now. Okay, so notice that you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. Right? There. Okay. So it's slightly more work when you're finding a zero than it is finding an intersection, but you use similar buttons. So I go to second, and I'm going to hit calc. This time I want the 0. I'm going to scroll down to 0 or hit number 2. Okay, and you still have to, it's the same thing with zeros, you have to do this process for each zero that you encounter. So we need to do this 5 separate times. So let's just start left to right. So I'm going to have to move this cursor all the way up this entire thing. So I'm going to do second and over so that it jumps quickly. Notice I can't see my cursor right now, but notice I can tell where it is because it's at -2, -34, right? So I have an approximation. So now I know this is 1, 2. I know that because my tick marks are 1 for each tick mark. So I'm going to go back up. So see, now I'm at -2, -9. So you can see it's blinking in the middle of that number. Okay? That's right there. So I'm going to go, oops, I went the wrong way. I want to go to the right. Okay, so notice I go from way down here to way up here. And that's as close as my cursor is going to get to this 0. Okay, so when you're looking to find the 0, I'm looking at this point of interest. So if it's asking where's to the left of this, well, if you look right at the 0, to the left of it is going to be below on the graph. So I want my cursor below. Well, it is below right now, so I'm going to hit enter. And then it says right bound. Notice it puts an arrow there for you to know that you've hit left. That's the point that's left of it. So then I'm going to go to the right of it. My cursor's up here. Okay, so it's to the right of this point right there. Right? Because to the right is above it. So I'm going to hit enter and then I hit enter again. And this will give you your 0. Notice it says 0. Now on this one I got, this is your scientific notation. -4 times, the e means times 10 to the -12. 10 to the -12 means I'm going to take the decimal and I'm going to move it to the left 12 times. So basically that's 0.000000, I lost count, 11 times and then 4. Okay. So basically when it's to a negative e and then a negative number, that means 0. If you see to a positive number, then you're moving the decimal the other direction. You get a really large number. So that's our first 0. So let's hit second, calc. I want the 0 again. Okay, so I'm going to go to the right. Notice that your cursor stayed at your last spot of the 0 that you had. So if you go left to right, then you'll do less jumping around. Or if you go right to left, you'll do less jumping around as well. Okay. Now on this one, to the left of this point right there is going to be above. Okay, so it switches depending on where your graph is coming from. So to the left of that x-intercept is above, and to the right of it is below. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. Now I'm going to go to the right of it, so I move the cursor to the right. So I hit enter, and then I hit enter again. And my 0 is -0.90960. Okay. So now I want this third one. Now notice this third one is somewhere between -1 and +1, right? So the other way that you can find zeros, if I do second calc, I can go down to 0, and I can say, well, I know that left of it is -1, and to the right of it, oh, so I put -1, then you gotta hit enter. And then to the right of it is +1, so I'm gonna hit enter, and then I'm gonna hit enter again. Okay, and it says no sign change. So that means that we did, since I was at -1, see how it's positive at -1? So I got to go to a number that's slightly less than -1. So if I do second calc, I want the 0. So let's say that it's in between -0.5, so -0.5, and I hit enter, and then 1, and then I hit enter, and then I hit enter again. Okay, so this time it gives me the 0, so I have 0.194, 0. Notice all of the right-hand sides or the y's are zeros because we're finding the zeros, and when you're finding the zeros, that means that your y value is 0 because you're finding your x-intercepts. So I've got 2 more left, so I do second calc. I want the 0. I want to be to the left of that x-intercept, so to the left of it is above, so I'm going to hit enter. To the right of it is below, so I move the cursor to the right and I'm going to hit enter, and then I hit enter again, because I'm skipping the guessing part. So I get 1.2, 0. And we have 1 more left, so I'm going to do second calc, 0, and then I'm already to the left of it, but I want to get it slightly closer to the left, to that 0, so it takes the calculator less time the closer you are. So I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to go to the right. It jumped far, but that's fine, I'm still close, so I hit enter, and then I hit enter again. So I get 1.946, 0. Okay. So I have 5 zeros for that. So remember that you can say that it's between 2 numbers. The one that would have been nice between 2 numbers, because these are so squished right here. If I do the very farthest left one, if I look, it's in between 1, 2, it's in between -3 and -2. So if I hit -3 and then -2, notice on that one I got all the way to the left without having to use my cursor. Okay, so and I got -2.43 and then -4e times or 10 times 10 to the -12. Okay, so those are 2 variations of how you can get there. You can either put the number or straddle the number so that you're to the left of it and to the right of it, or you can use your cursor and go to the left of it and to the right of it manually. Either one of those works.